My name is Jovanny Hernandez. I live in a border city, Las Cruces, New Mexico, surrounded by 6 border patrol checkpoints. Driving around the region, you'll see border patrol agents on the highways, back roads, and public lands. I have to cross through these checkpoints once every 2 weeks. Growing up and traveling in the border region and seeing the way my parents and family were treated by border patrol agents made me believe that I was not an American citizen. Because I thought to be an American citizen, you had to be white. I thought that until the 5th grade. That was my internalized experience. That's what Customs and Border Protections made me think about myself. I even thought that I was not allowed to say the Pledge of Allegiance because I was not white. My uncles were beaten by Border Patrol agents and separated from their mother. Even though they were children at the time, Border Patrol took invasive biometric data from them, including blood samples, fingerprints, and other private information. Border Patrol physically, emotionally, and mentally abused my aunts, uncles, mother, and grandparents, and that abuse leaves scars. I can think of a specific instance 2 years ago where I was questioned for 45 minutes about who I was, whether I was a citizen, where my family was from, and what my intentions were in even traveling outside of the region. I was made to wait in the hot desert sun outside my car and was questioned ad nauseum. It stops me from traveling outside of my area, visiting my family. It does the same thing for others who look like me. This discrimination is something that I have to deal with often on a weekly, monthly basis. The anxiety that I feel having to go through these checkpoints is strong enough to put me into a panic attack. If I travel for work, I know that I will be made to feel less than human. If I wish to visit family, I will be made to feel less than human. And the United States government, through ICE and CBP, have made me and so many others who look like me hate the color of our skin. What I'm here to do today is to ask the UNHRC to condemn and direct in the strongest possible terms the U.S. government to remove legal racism practiced by ICE and CBP, the largest and most explicitly racist federal law enforcement agency in the United States. The invasive questioning and profiling by CBP is completely legal under current U.S. law, and this body has the power to direct the United States to create laws to prohibit CBP from engaging in racial profiling and warrantless searches. Thank you.
Hey, my name is Ted Womack. I'm from San Diego, California, and I'm here to help you understand what daily discrimination looks like with law enforcement in San Diego specifically. Whether we're walking down the street, driving in our car, and they literally see my face and make a U-turn and pull me over immediately. Whether I'm at a park and they walk up to me and say, "Do you have gang tattoos? Lift up your shirt." So many situations where discrimination is actively and freely practiced in investigating what are going on in San Diego. And that's an atrocity. So I want to tell you about one particular story. My father used to work at a high school, the local high school in our neighborhood, and I would walk past that high school. I would frequent that high school a lot because my father worked there. People know me there. And as I always do, I walked past the high school, I waved at my father. By the time I got to the alley behind the high school, which is literally like that, there were 3 or 4 police officers with guns drawn on me, saying that there was a threat made at the school. The administration came out, my dad came out, and they proceeded to let them know, like, nah, this is the security's son. He's not a threat. He's not somebody we would even think is a threat. And they were like, well, somebody said a threat was made. And the whole time during this conversation, which is like 7 or 10 minutes, guns are drawn on me. Like, I was made to feel like a victim by people who are supposed to be there to protect me. It's people who are supposed to be able to call to come help me, but they're here to attack me. And that's how I felt. And the reason that these things and so many other things that we've seen happen, whether it's George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, is because of our low use of force standard. As of now, it's objectively reasonable, and that's a what would a reasonable officer do type of situation. And that's not it, because if you have an officer that may be a racist or a bigot or a sexist, they can commit an act and they could say, well, I believe that this should have been done based on what was going on. They're going to be right. So we needed to be changed to necessary and proportionate, because you can't say it's necessary and proportionate to choke an unarmed person for 20 minutes until they die. It's just not it. So I'm asking you to make a finding that U.S. law is in violation of international law, because otherwise the burden is on me. Otherwise the burden is on me to deal with that, and I can't change that alone. So I need you to find a way to make sure that the U.S. is in compliance with international law that they have agreed to. Thank you.